Alright, let's see, it's gonna load. And there's Twitch. And YouTube. Twitter down. Kick. Finally, they stuck. Do our intro. Okay, I don't have to tarnish it, I don't have to tell it. When it's done, at least get a latte, John. It's not name. Okay. So, what this is about? Yay, I like nice dream. The Utherverse closed beta will be opening up on the 26th. Today is the town hall meeting, where you can go and talk this to everything else and all. So I'm actually sitting in the transport room waiting for it to be opened up and everything. So yeah. Yeah, so let's see if the place is open yet. Okay, I had no idea. Anyway, so let's see if it's open yet. Yay! It is finally open. Please hit the play button. So yeah. And there's Brian. Do 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 do. So the other spinner is here. Oh, he's standing behind then.
All right. Well, um, I see that we shared the link to Twitch. Obviously, everybody can feel free to send that link out if there's anybody that wants to come in but can't make it in world, wants to see the event. And I presume, Thiago, you're recording this here, or somebody is? Fantastic.
So yes, Brian, I am recording your
All right, well,
stream for
just give
you.
another minute for people to find a seat, settle down, and we can get this party started. Hi, everybody.
There's Mr. Streamer.
All right, fantastic. Um, yeah, Oreos if you're not talking. We should really have popcorn here in the theater. Um,
Got popcorn.
all right. Well, um, so I'm going to get things underway. Obviously, feel free to chat. I'm happy to take questions in real time, and we're here, to catch up, discuss what we've got coming up. There's obviously a lot of fun stuff here, and let's see. So today we are really testing out. Incidentally, well, when there is video. Incidentally, uh, we're doing a real beta test of some things today in anticipation of the Xeon beta test. So I'm hoping that when I press this button, you're all going to be able to see me streaming. We're testing out our new WebRTC low latency HLS streaming. And that is what's going to be going in as part of the Xeon package. And of course, we're testing all of that fun stuff. So let's see if this works now.
There's 104 people here.
And wow, that does work. And now here's a question. Is my audio in sync with the video for you? Or do I look like I'm dubbed here? Great. All right. Well, congratulations, Cobra. We made it. Well, fantastic. It's great to be here. I'm excited to be chatting with everybody today. I see lots and lots of. I was going to say, if you send me a friend request and if I don't get to it, it's because I'm dealing with multiple monitors and a bunch of things going on. It's not a rejection, so you can send me another one, and hopefully I'll get to all of them. Also, I've got multiple windows going, so I may not even see it. But happy to take friends' requests. All right. So, I guess, by way of a little bit of introduction, we, as you probably all know by now, are gearing up. We're in absolute final stretch here of getting the new generation of Utherverse online. That's going to be the Xeon browser, and the extension of the virtual world web that we've been working on for almost 2 decades now. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that we're going to get to today. I guess probably the best way to introduce you all to Xeon, if you haven't seen it, is I'll test this out here. Let's watch a video.
Nice.
Alrighty. So, you know, we've been producing videos over the course of the last year or so, um, and I've seen videos from other companies pitching a metaverse and whatnot. What's different here is you're actually seeing shots of the real plaza, the real regions that we have going in. The avatars, you know, we've spent an enormous amount of time really crafting photorealism into the avatars, but particularly I think you're all going to really enjoy the clothing, the clothing textures and the meshes. You know, really we're able to get a next generation of clothing. Um, Far fewer problems, much more. I mean, really, really realistic. Um, I am going to say throughout the discussion here that beta testing is starting on the 26th. This is closed beta, of course. You know, you've got a couple of days left if you're VIP to sign up to be able to get invited into that closed beta. Um, there are going to continue to be improvements, many, many, many improvements that are slated out over the next year and two. And even with respect to the avatars that you're going to see in the initial closed beta, for example, the hair, you know, there are going to be big upgrades to the hair. You didn't see in that video the capabilities of being able really to modify your avatar in ways that we have never been able to do here in RLC and Utherverse, where you can actually do body morph customizations. So there's a lot more features, but you know, it really is sort of this next level graphical quality. The regions are just utterly spectacular. The avatar skin textures and the bodies and everything really, really quite amazing. And they will continue to improve. So, you know, even what you see in, you know, I was told to sort of downplay what's going to happen in September. But I'm really impressed with it anyway. It's kind of hard for me to downplay. But there are lots of improvements planned all the way around. Yeah, micro, mini, all of these things. Uh, all of these things are either available or they're going to become available as we progress. The original plan here is we're going to do a couple of weeks of closed beta. We're going to do another week of optimization improvements and bug fixes, and then we'll patch. Then we're going to begin a series of events. And for the first 3 weeks, there's also going to be events. There's going to be a lot of sort of, when I say entertainment, I mean parties and events to test the various features. You know, it sort of reminds me of how we launched out Red Light Center at the very beginning, where it really was community and exploring the environment, talking with friends. Obviously, there's chat. There's dancing. There's some shopping you can explore, but continued improvements and improvements. And then after the third week, we've got deals in place with some really spectacular entities, companies, people who are going to be coming in. We are going to have movie premieres. I shouldn't say premieres necessarily, although some of them are. Film festival kind of stuff where we've got the producers and the actors of the movies coming in to have discussions. Musicians, comedians, a variety of you know, fun events in addition to the normal stuff that we do here, DJs and partying and all of that. It's going to be a little while before we've really got clothing, user-generated content in the form of clothing, user-generated content in the form of being able to texture and do deco. But obviously, all of this is planned. and is forthcoming. So that's kind of the the overview of what's happening in September. I know I have a bunch of questions that people were asking about. And I can get to those, but I can also answer, as we go here, I can answer questions from chat. I think the first and foremost question that everybody has been that keeps getting asked is, are we closing? And of course, the answer is no. Classic, Utherverse Classic RLC. I'll just continue to say it, that it's not closing. And in fact, I'm optimistic that as we open up our closed beta of Xeon, that we'll be able to attract a lot of new users back to the Classic system, because the Classic system is so much more fully featured right now. So as people want to become more involved in community and spend more time, I think there'll be a lot of traffic flow both ways. Karaoke, we are absolutely working on getting karaoke in, and I'm definitely open to discussions about hosting karaoke if that's something that you do. But we're certainly planning on having karaoke, and sooner than later. So I get asked a lot. Yeah, okay. So that's another really good question while we're here, in regard to business development and business emails that have been sent in. So we're struggling a little bit with being able to accommodate the businesses that are coming in, because we don't have deco. We're not going to have real-time updates like we do in Classic for a little while. So we're not going to be doing. We're not able to patch. We're not able to get materials changed out and decoed in real time, and so it's sort of complicating business development while we are in this sort of closed beta space. But certainly, we're keeping all of these, and we're going to be in touch as soon as we're able to accommodate and start. I really want to open up this opportunity for businesses to come in. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about the various opportunities for everybody. But for sure, I want to have classes for you on clothing. Because it's a more advanced clothing system, and the deco system, it's all going to feel familiar, but improved. Let's see, what are we seeing here? Can't bring properties close over. All of that stuff will continue to exist here in the Classic system. The cost here, transfer such things as raise. Well, raise, then they're not going to directly transfer, but if you have a huge number of raise, we could discuss accommodation. But in the short term, we are not doing. There's no economy in the closed beta initially, and then the economy is going to move to a new type of token here, which is going to be the other token, other coin, and that system is a little bit advanced, let's say, but it's going to accommodate easier cash outs, easier cash in, and it will. You won't really need a familiarity with cryptocurrency. You won't really need a crypto wallet, because that stuff will be built into the Xeon browser for you. And there's going to be a two-layer system. I don't really want to necessarily confuse anybody here, but there'll be a two-layer system for the other coin. The top layer is going to be out in the cryptosphere, so in Web3 and in blockchain. But there will be an internal commerce layer, and that internal commerce layer will act very similarly to Raise. So you'll be able to transfer just between users, system to user, user to system, and you won't really need to, and it won't really need to be too complicated. How much will it cost in a month? And how can we pay? Will raise be used? So initially, there's no cost, but as we move forward, as we have rats, I was worried that that would happen. I've got too many things running at once, so let me see. Let me relaunch and head right back over there. But in the meantime, if you could still hear me, I presume you can. Eventually, it's going to cost, the cost structure is going to be similar to what we've got here in RLC. So I can't see any chat now while I'm coming back in. So it is going to be two different membership systems. The databases really aren't compatible, and
I'm getting copy.
we've got to keep these. We've got to keep them separate.
Right.
Let me get back to.
Yep, I got music playing.
Can you? I am. Oh, right. Mute the audio again. Okay. Done?
Yeah, Truther says as long as you don't start singing.
Okay.
So, yes, Brian, we can still hear you. We can still hear you, Brian.
Okay.
He's froze. You see,
I'm
he's not
back.
disappeared here, but he's froze.
And I should really landmark this place. All good? Can you all hear me? All right. Okay, so where was I here? Let's see. 10 million messages. Yeah, I'm at home with my cats, but they're locked out of the room for this meeting. Did not want to have them. Okay, yeah, system requirements. So that's a better question for my devs here to answer. Somebody want to type in system requirements for me so I don't get this wrong? I mean, I know that this is designed to be able to work pretty easily. And yes, the next town hall will be likely in Classic. So, the game plan that we've got here is we've got this first patch coming out, or this first release coming out in September. Then, as I said, in 3 weeks, we expect to do an update where we're going to be fixing some bugs, optimizing. I don't think that you're going to find that there are anywhere near the issues that we had when RLC initially rolled out. I mean, this platform, what I really want to say is, this platform is, taking everything that we learned from Classic and everything that we learned from the Curio kind of debacle there, and we've synthesized what I think is going to be, when I talk about Curio, I say Curio lacked charm. It didn't have that warm feeling to it. It wasn't conducive for friendliness. And it also had issues with the user interface and bugs and whatnot. That's not really, again, I know I was told to downplay it so that if things go wrong, they're not going to go wrong. I mean, this thing, it's really a next level thing. You have not seen anything like this before, and it's true. There's going to be updates throughout. In January, there's going to be an update. We're looking at adult content going in January, and at that point, there'll be a need to segregate out the adults, the adult section from everything else. I don't anticipate a real boot monster. Of course, it's going to take us a year or so before we've really got everything onto its final hardware, including this distributed database system and the databases to be able to handle multiple millions of people online simultaneously. Because this is no longer, this community is wonderful. I am looking forward to having this community become the kernel for what we can grow in the Xeon generation, so that we can keep this culture and bring outsiders in to grow with us and to add to the community instead of changing the community. But we are really looking at having this open up to millions and millions of people worldwide. We have a system designed to allow third parties really to come in with their own metaverse concepts, their own avatar concepts. We're using the Unity multi-purpose avatar pipeline, so the whole Unity community can come in and develop with customized avatars and customized animations and customized user interface, so that it really becomes a large-scale, fascinating, the kind of next generation web, and I really am trying to keep the same culture that we have and just spread this worldwide. So, and now I'm distracted reading all the chat. So what I was saying, we have this patch plan for January. We add adult content, and because everything is so realistic, this adult content, and I'm not going to obsess about the adult content here, but I'm really impressed with what has been happening, because it's all coming through motion capture pipelines. Everything is so realistic. So we've hired top talent and doing the most sophisticated kind of motion capture. So everything from the regions to the clothing to the animations and the motions, pets and artificial intelligence, and really, if you want to have a baby, that's not going to happen in Utherverse's own metaverse, but it will ultimately, in any of these other metaverses, what we call Utherverse sovereigns, where someone will be able to come in and, we had a sort of a franchise model of this software platform, the Classic. The model for Xeon is more of a web kind of model, where anybody can create a website, and websites can be completely different from each other, but they all interconnect. So Utherverse is going to operate our primary metaverse, but third parties will just be able to open up an Utherverse sovereign, and they'll have a lot of capabilities to customize what that experience is like. There's going to be a welcome center. We're going to have the volunteer system, and the commerce system. Hopefully, soon able to add in user-generated animations on top of user-generated clothing, and the marketplace and all of these things. But of course, we're talking a year or more before all of these features are in place. So January for adult content, we're waiting for that because that's a complicated system, and if we wanted to include that with our initial opening, then we wouldn't be able to open until January. So I figured, yeah, it's definitely better to open, get things tested, do, as I was saying, movies, comedians, musicians. We've got all of these things lining up, and, we'll certainly be adding to that. So, yes, guides, the whole volunteer system is going to continue to transfer over. Um, uh, Child support? Um, yeah. And we're continuing to develop on Classic, and what really is going to be nice is I expect that Classic, as I said at the outset, is going to grow and continue to expand the community, and then we're going to we're going to be able to add additional attention to Classic because, of course, we're going to be back to growing our staff and development teams. Um, won't have the cold hugging or kissing. I don't understand that. Um, so uh, let's see. I have some questions here. Um, uh, Include facial morphing. Um, So yes, you'll be able to adjust your face. You'll be able to adjust things like, you'll be able to add makeup. You'll be able to change your facial features. You'll be able to change your ethnicity and gender, but also able to add, if you want to look lean, if you want to look uh, more rotund. Um, uh, Pipeline for Unity. Of course, all of these things we're looking to add in. Um, the Deco system. Well, the Deco system will be there will certainly be an internal Deco system, but I always love when there's third-party systems. So I'm certainly open to that type of application. Weather, rain and snow, sure. Um, uh, we've already played around a lot with weather. Um, oh, good God, some of you, tisk tisk. um, okay, I'm gonna go back to the questions Ken sent me. They're a little bit less less shocking. Um, uh, So, there's a question about businesses, a question about businesses that exist in RLC and in Utherverse, and whether how they'll be able to participate in Xeon. Um, that's going to be a good question to be able to answer once you've had a chance to go in and kick the tires a little bit. The initial layout of Xeon in the non-adult and the mainstream area, we have the Utherverse Plaza. And then, in the adult region, there's going to be an adult plaza. And that's populated with all kinds of doors that could be available to rent or to buy, virtual regions that could turn into businesses. I'm looking for, wedding businesses, DJs, deco, clothing design, clothing outlets and shops. Anything that you can anything that you have an idea for, we're certainly going to be open to, but it's challenging at this point to onboard because, as I said, we don't have the ability to do these real-time updates yet. So these things have to wait for patches right now, but of course, forthcoming after the closed beta, when we can do these real-time updates, it's going to be much easier to be able to operate a business. Um, so I want to take a break from answering questions here to talk about a few very cool things that I see. People are now talking about Ethereum and blockchain, and I do want to take a pause to discuss some really upcoming opportunities here for the community and things that I hope you'll be able to get involved with. Of course, if you're interested. Um, Immediately forthcoming. I've never been a fan of NFTs. I've discussed this in
Ooh, a gosh.
multiple interviews how I thought that the whole NFT market, um, if you're not touched the canvas, touched it, and actually put his brushstrokes on there and created this masterpiece. But I can buy a copy of the Mona Lisa that has been recreated even down to the brushstrokes. That copy could go in a museum. It could replace the original, and nobody would really know. But the copy is virtually worthless compared to the original. And with an NFT, you have no you've got something on a blockchain that says that it's an original, but when I show it to you on my phone, I could be showing you a screenshot. I could be showing you a picture I've took. When I get a new phone, the image transfers over. It's really not. It really doesn't have an intrinsic value. What we are doing, though, we're because we've got a metaverse, and I think really what Web3 and all of this cryptocurrency stuff lacks is this foundation in an actual metaverse where things can have utility. So, as far as the NFT market goes, we're we're coming out with a Generation 2 trunk that is going to include all these cool features. I remember when we introduced glow sticks and when we introduced poof, and people were talking about how many thousands of dollars they wanted to pay us to be able to get a specific color of poof or something. Um, those types of things as an NFT, what I call an FNFT, a functional NFT, they actually work and they do things in our metaverse. So the way that I would describe it to everybody here is these are really just virtual assets that you'll have in the new metaverse in Xeon. I believe that they're going to have a tremendous resale value. Obviously, that's something which is frowned upon talking about, and I would hope that if anyone wants to pick it up, they would do it for reasons other than the resale value. They would do it instead because you're going to get a Zabby in the main Utherverse Plaza. You're going to start off with a wardrobe that is a unique wardrobe, including things like fairy wings or gargoyle wings and these particle effect clothing items and such. Um, I am making a package of these available, these functional NFTs. I'm making them available for what is essentially a deposit. So if you're looking at it in dollar terms, you would put down a deposit, and you will get that back when the contents become available. So we say the trunk is going to open, and there'll be the way that we've priced it for the crypto marketplace. So it costs zero point 0.3 Ethereum. You get back 0.3 Ethereum, but you're really getting back the 0.3 Ethereum value that you put into it. And you can pick these up with a credit card. And these are available if you go to utherverse.io. You can see the page for these functional NFTs. Well, they are going to become available. So it's just, yeah. Uh, 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 when the dollar goes back to the gold standard, we can talk. um, the trunks are going to open when we come out of beta, and all of this, the clothing wardrobe, the real estate becomes available. And they can be purchased for Ethereum, or they can be purchased with a credit card to be refunded when the trunks open. The other opportunity I wanted to talk about is, I don't know if you can purchase these with PayPal. I mean, it's credit card, and I think PayPal has a way to do that. I don't want to get into a whole debate about the crypto market, though I actually do, but I don't think this is the appropriate venue for it. The other opportunity that I wanted to talk to you about is that Utherverse is, for the first time ever, going to be selling stock. So in order to compete with, all of these publicly traded companies, we are doing an initial offering of shares in Utherverse. That announcement, that official announcement, is going to happen in the next few days, probably before Friday, today being Tuesday. And we will probably send out a mailer with a link to be able to pre-register. So this is an equity crowd fund. It's available through a reputable outfit called Republic. And this is the step before we go, hopefully, public. The plan right now is to go public on the NASDAQ, but that remains to be seen. This initial step, obviously, crowdfund, yeah, those are a couple of opportunities. If you like what you see in the initial closed beta, I'm super excited about it. So the minimum investment in the crowd fund to be able to pick up equity is going to be $100, and that also can be done. With a credit card. All right. So now let's get back to all of this wonderful chat. Tokens the same as you can buy raise here. So there will be a mechanic for being able to purchase tokens, and it will be simple to do, though they will also be tradable on exchanges. So there's going to be a much broader acceptance is the plan for the token, even outside of what we're doing. But I'm trying to make it just as easy as it is to pick up raise. But I do want to stress that there is no economy yet in the beta. Everybody's going to have access to all of the clothing. Everybody's going to have access to all of the regions initially until, as we make progress on all of that. Okay. Yeah, Zuckerberg is coming up with spending $1 billion a month still on Metaverse. Like, how is that possible? Hard for me to imagine how you can go through and spend that kind of cash, unless you're, unless you've got developers and teams that are fighting with each other and they keep undoing what the work that other people have done, or they're really, really inefficient. But yeah, I guess the free lunches for employees are expensive. That must be the other piece of it. Yes, damn. Hold on.
I think he's having the same issue I'm having. So yeah.
Can you hear me?
He can hear you. I just can't see you because
Am I
of
back?
the. close my thing. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So we are back. What did I miss? Uh, um, I was seeing something about Second Life, but it's long gone. Um, this product is nothing like the products that we've come out with before. I really think that that's what I'm going to say. You know, I, I hope that everybody is going to come and check it out. Um, I hope that everybody is going to, you know, want to is going to enjoy running through some of the, you know, some of the events where we're helping to test. But, you know, if you could see what I'm seeing, I mean, um, it, when you see a video, you know, uh, it's so much different than experiencing what's actually happening, and particularly if the video is being streamed and it's, you know, lower resolution. The 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 realism and the charm that's been put in here. I mean, it's not comparable to anything else. And all of the attention that we're getting with, you know, celebrities and influencers. I mean, um, uh, it's, you know, I always wish that we could just sort of fast forward and, you know, develop faster. I often think that a lot of my job is talking to talking to the developers and saying code faster. But it takes time to create this, you know, and I suppose I suppose I understand the skepticism that some people put out, because Curio really was, you know, a 7-year development cycle. And the problem with Curio was, you know, I kept hearing from the developers, look, until you know, you can't run code that's 99% completed. It just won't run. It needs to be 100% before. And by the time I was able to see anything, it was so many years into development that it just, you know, wasn't it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what you know, I was led to believe. But that's not the case here, and I think the proof is in the pudding. You know, I don't think it's worth really obsessing on, you know, is this another Curio, or is this just like Second Life? It's really nothing like any of those things, and you know, and it's not a sex game. I mean, the sex is going to be a fantastic component, but there are so many other components. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the convention. You know, the convention patch that's going to be coming out in April, and we've already got large-scale conventions with world-class speakers and companies that are going to be coming in. You know, as I say, the movies, the karaoke, the large-scale concerts, and the special effects that we can do. You know, all of those build out a much more fully featured. And of course, there's a red light center. So, you know, there is the sex, but the sex is at a whole different level where it's motion captured. And I mean, you know, I'm going to be looking for a lot of feedback. You know, some of the stuff that I love about Classic is, you know, the way that the animation system works, the capability of being able to modify the animations in real time, so, you know, you can chain things together and create your own unique kind of dances or sex moves or any of those things. Really looking to have all of that, you know, all of those benefits, and still be able to have motion capture and, you know, I guess I don't want to get more technical than that, but, you know, the inverse kinetics and the art pipelines and all of these things that just make it so, like, you need to see it, you need to experience it, you need to experience the lighting. So let's see. Yeah, there will be cars. So, you know, if you are going to run people down. So yeah, you know, I don't expect anybody to have to start their businesses over, but, you know, I do want to emphasize that when you see it in beta, and you get to experience it, you are all the OGs, right? You're going to be the very first people in. the very first people to be able to stake a claim. You have the experience. Um, you know, you absolutely don't need to leave Classic, and I don't expect people to leave Classic. I expect this to be in addition to, and an expansion of opportunities, to meet people, to expand your business, um, uh, experience different kinds of events. But these things will run side by side, and they're really going to complement each other, and that's going to be a benefit for everyone. Well, I guess if I'm going to keep getting asked this question, I presume, I really should see who's asking it. Um, why open a beta test for a game of this sort as an adult game, but not have the adult features added? Um, there are lots of reasons, but we need to test things. We need to make sure that we can have thousands of people online concurrently. We need to make sure that all of the systems run correctly, and the clothing systems run correctly, and the animation systems run correctly, and also how the experience is. Whether it has the charm, whether we need to add things, and this is just going to be an ongoing development. So it's not like January is 10 years away, right? The sex is going to the sex is going to come. I'm sorry, Molly Bog. The chat is running up so fast. If I missed, I'm missing an awful lot of questions. So I'm just seeing what my eye gets drawn to. But you can always retype the question. Um, uh, yeah. So there will be VIP. There will be UVIP eventually. Um, uh, but initially, the commerce system isn't included, so there won't be anything included. Uh, uh, well, Super Dave, I mean that's exactly the issue, right? I mean, uh, um, the current system is aged. The current system doesn't run on Apple anymore, and the new system will run, ultimately on any device. It's going to be VR compatible, so you'll be able to run it on a VR headset or a mobile phone or a tablet, and we should be able to get millions and millions of people here. We really haven't been able to market the classic system very effectively for more than 10 years. And so the population has obviously declined, but getting new fresh faces, adding to the community, that's really what all of this has been gearing up to. So. Um, huh. Yeah, boy. VR headsets for some of the things like when you're doing dance contests and uh, the gentleman's club or concerts. These things. The way that I look at virtual reality, um, and really the reason why I think that what we're doing here is going to actually work for virtual reality is you won't need it. You'll only want to put on a VR headset. I mean, VR headsets are pretty uncomfortable. VR headsets are kind of a hassle. Really, when I said dance contests, and I'm thinking dance teams and shows, and it just came out contest, so you caught me there. Um, when I want to, watch a video or a clip or something, I just do not want to put on a VR headset. But when I want to experience something that is a real, a substantial event, uh, uh, I could be bothered to put on a VR headset, and I think that's really giving more opportunity to determine what screen you want to be able to run it on. If you just want to pop in, have a quick chat with a friend as an avatar on the road, you could do that potentially on your phone. But for a more engaging experience, you do that on a monitor on a computer, and then for the most engaging experience, you put on a VR headset and you're immersed in it. Um, movie theaters are actually happening in the initial release of closed beta. And we have a really, really great partner that's supplying us with not only the movies but also the actors, the writers, the producers to do real film festival type of thing. So Red OMG, that'll I think that's going to be a really cool set of features here. Um, uh, Please describe in full what members should expect. Um, well, I guess ultimately what you should expect is that over the course of development, we're going to take this from where we started with RLC back in 2005, which is basically just avatars being able to interact, and bring up over time all of the features in RLC, and then a bunch of new features and new pipelines, including if I'm really going to describe it out into the future, um, Internet of Games, a fully interactive, finally virtual world web is ultimately um, the objective. Um, the cost is probably going to be comparable. I've really been trying not to, well, not just trying. We have succeeded in not raising prices, even though everything has become much more expensive. Um, and I don't anticipate the prices being any different. You'll be able to pay with Raise. You'll be able to pay with other token and or credit card, any of this stuff. Um, yeah, dance teams and DJs. I mean, that's going to be the really exciting stuff for parties. Um, oh, beta. If you don't understand what beta is, it's really we've been testing this product over the course of the last 8 months or so in alpha testing. Alpha testing is the first sort of testing that software goes through, and then when it's ready to be released to the public, but not really ready to, not fully functional, not fully featured. We've turned off a lot of features that we built, and we want to just really start to put it through testing and also offer the features and the events, so that we can get everything lined up and get these celebrities excited to come in and put on shows and whatnot. That's really where we are with what beta is. Xeon will have a separate cost, yes, but I just don't want to make this like a hard and fast rule, right? We're going to have volunteer teams, and I mean, the existing community is, you've all been so great. Um, I'm really not trying to. The systems just aren't compatible. And I mean, I know everybody's heard me say this type of thing before, but the classic system, there are just issues with getting it up to be a really modernized software system. Um, but ultimately, we're going to try to work things out. We're going to try to figure stuff out for existing members. In any event, it's all free right now. So uh, you can come on in and test. The real problem with this is all of the membership stuff for the existing system is in a database. That database is not easily virtually it would be impossible to be able to have the two databases talk to each other, to know that you're an existing member. I mean, it was really a challenge just to get to the point where we're going to allow existing members the priority access to closed beta. Um, Doing these types of things in real time, just not really possible. So I would love to give a discount on membership, or I'd love to give it for free. I mean, really, that was the original plan. And we may still find a miracle way to do it. but one way or another, you know, uh, 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 we'll make something happen. Um, yeah, you know, if cost really becomes a problem, I mean, I think I've said what I can say. I'll do what I can. I don't want people to have to pay more than $20 a month. To be honest, I mean I think 30 for UVIP is plenty, but uh, uh, yep, Dark Lady J, you're correct. Curio and Oasis did fail, um, and we've learned from those experiences. What can I say? Um, uh, uh, don't judge this on that. Um, uh, there's plenty of examples of companies learning from past failure. Um, uh, Apple is a great example. Uh, uh, well, let me see. There must be a few other sort of general questions if I go to my other computer here. Um, there will be an affiliate program here. Um, and actually, that was a great question that I do want to talk about. We'll see how this progresses, but I expect that in short order, I'm going to allow people to have invites, and you'll be able to invite one or two people into the closed beta as we start to really load test and as we start to expand. And there's going to be there's really going to start to be some exciting entertainment and events happening in the closed beta. So you'll probably want to try to you may want to invite friends. There's going to be a lot of demand. Um, Ultimately, we're going to be tracking anybody that you refer in, and there will be an affiliate program here that will compensate the person who referred for the people that they refer in. And that's going to be a pretty advanced program. Um, we've certainly spent a lot of time on it. I think that should be a pretty. The concept of white label is the same as the concept that I described a little bit earlier of Utherverse sovereigns. So that's a little bit down the road, but it will be like having your own metaverse on the platform. Um, and you'll be able to just piggyback on all of our features, or add your own features, add your own user interface, and other systems, all through APIs and whatnot. Uh, is is my video? Are there problems now? No, no. Sex in January. April is the convention. So we're having a big Web3 convention in April. We're adding in all of the convention features for the trade show floor and all of that. Video's back. Um, Excellent. All right. You know, we did pretty good. Got a bunch of questions, um, and looks like I may start repeating myself uh, here. So, um, yeah. So I guess can uh, anybody else moderating, if you've got any other questions that you think that I missed. Um, I'll remind people to please check out utherverse.io, and um, you know if you want to get into the FNFTs, if you want to get in on the crowdfund, please keep an eye out. Um, there are plenty of videos that you'll find at utherverse.io. Yes, um, and uh, and obviously, we're going to be coming out with a lot of stuff over the course of the next, uh, really the next month. Um, so everything's getting super busy. Everything's getting really exciting. The whole staff now is pulling, all nighters to get this as much feature-rich stuff in as we can. I'm really thankful for everybody for showing up. Let me get this video back up on the screen in case you missed it before. I'll replay this, and I'll be back in a sec.
Like we're having trouble.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So at the outset, the casino is just for show, but we've been in talks with a couple of major online casinos, and I'm sure that's going to get and sportsbook. Boy, the sportsbook with rights to all these sporting events to be streamed into the world. That's going to be a lot of fun, um, and yeah, and if you actually saw it not in that low resolution from the streaming video, um, it's uh, it's even better. All right. Well, fantastic. Um, you know, we're all available, of course. Um, yeah, the casino broke because the company that was providing the back end with the games that sort of fell apart. They weren't able to keep those up with the flash and whatnot. But um, uh, yeah, okay. Well, I want to thank everybody. This is great. Um, and we're around to answer questions. We're around to engage in discussions, take suggestions, and really, that's what this whole period is all about. Um, let's as much feedback as we can. Um, uh, build out this new um, this this new fun playground with a talented, experienced community that you know knows what they're doing, knows what they want, and knows how to build a lot of friendly, fun relationships and community. So I appreciate all. Just close out so I can be an RLC.
Okay now. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that towards the middle there. Yeah, my Ultiverse crashed, but if you noticed, I still had sound. So I didn't want to break the sound part. So yeah, this is Ultraverse. This is our second generation. Our third generation was this one. Was this one. So yes, this is our third generation. It's being called Classic now. Then yes, you got people asking about the RRC. Um, let's see, this one and the one I want? No. Yeah, this one. So yeah, Brian created this squirrel Thirst. So this is the Thirst squirrel that Brian created. But then there was people asking, hey, I'm at work, I've got in-laws, I've got my wife who's here, and I don't want her to know what I'm doing. So he created this squirrel. This is the, not so lewd type. But both Red Light Center and Altaders, they go to the same area. So yeah, you can actually access the world under both accounts and everything else. Well, like I said, in a new world, yes, this is going to be the new world. It's everything else, the new Altaders. So it's going to be the new world. So yeah, and then as you can see our legacy. So yeah, as you can see, he started in 2005, came out in 2005, did everything else and all. But yeah, like I said, and then ignition. So yeah, this is the screenshot basically. What the new world looks like. Now the new world's gonna be on the Unity game engine. Um, there it is, Unity. So the new world's going to be on the new game engine, the new Unity game engine. That's everything else and all. So if you know anything about Unity game engine, yeah, you're already a step ahead. That's everything else because that's what the new world's going to be. It's going to be on the Unity game engine. That's everything else and all. But yeah, but like I said, yep, this is the Ultimate World. So yep, this is the Ultimate World. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and break the stream, this, that, and all. Hopefully, the stream's not too bad, this, that, and all, but yeah. As you can kind of see, about halfway through, yeah. It kind of crashed, but I didn't want to close it because he was still talking and this, that, and all. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it because, like I said, yeah. My application or it crashed, so I didn't want to break the talking. Alright, well, here's our ending. Okay now, well thank you for watching my video, or watching my stream. Please go to those links, follow me, click on them, hit that and all to get more info about what I do, hit that and all. So thank you again for watching my stream, and I will see you next time. Bye now. Yeah, and I'll see you later now. Bye.